friend often says that Italians are emotional and impulsive. I haven't done an impulsive thing in my life. Crazy things just happen to me, you know? I was just so unprepared for my chemistry exam, and all I did was set off the fire alarm. Next thing I know, a fire truck had crashed into our school auditorium. The principal was furious and searching for the culprit, and I, the culprit, found myself running away from the school as fast as I could. I rushed straight into my empty house and up to my room to find a boy sitting on my bed. He looked exactly like me. I'm talking height, hair color, lips, down to my very eyes. He was like a boy version of me. Suddenly, he ran up to me and hugged me. I pushed him away. Who are you and what are you doing here? Sorry, the front door was open and I was just so excited to meet my twin sister for the first time. Twin what? Falla finita. Was there no end to today's drama? The crazy events of the day ended with me finding out the greatest secret my parents had kept from me. I wasn't born into this world alone. I had a twin brother, and his name was Lucas. My parents had given him up for adoption and kept me. His millionaire father barely paid attention to him now. He was far too busy, and that led Lucas to seek out his real parents. After telling him what happened at school, he suggested something that really caught my interest. Why don't we switch places for a few days? You could enjoy my mansion and posh high school while I get to see what it's like to live with my real parents. And my Italian blood quickly did its thing, and before I knew what I was saying, I yelled, "Deal!" I didn't want to waste another second. I just wanted to experience a day at school without getting bullied. We went out and bought wigs, and then I was off to take over my twin brother's life and move into his mansion. I just went crazy the first day of the switch, eating everything I could see in the pantry and playing all of Lucas's amazing video games. No one was at home except for his many servants. I called Lucas to check in on him, and he sounded so happy with my parents. Mama's cooking is the best, and I had so much fun watching basketball with Papa today. How about you? I told him that I was doing just fine. I hope you'll really enjoy my life, sorella. After meeting his best friend Jeff, I was sure I would. There was just something about him that was so dreamy. He radiated pure confidence and charisma. Too bad I was here as a boy. There was nothing I could do but look. Or so I thought. Turns out Lucas and Jeff were much closer friends than I knew. One day, he just barged into my room without even knocking. And worse, he immediately jumped into my bed as if he owned it. Wake up, princess. It's time for your morning tea. What did he just call me? He was grinning from ear to ear. And then it hit me. I was still in my girly pink pajamas. Could I just disappear right now? I immediately cleared my throat, and in a deeper voice I said, "I'm just man enough to wear pink." Dude, I know, it's cool. He gave me a fist bump and a wink, and I responded in the most awkward way. Gosh, I was so bad at this. My crush on Jeff was interfering with my acting. He was so hilarious and attractive, it made my girly side come out. Once I almost giggled. How was I ever going to hide my secret with this gorgeous boy always hovering around me? Little did I know that it was about to get much worse. Jeff walked up to me one day and asked me if I was up for the date. I nearly fainted. Date? Yeah, with our girlfriends. Wait, a girl? What? Apparently there were things Lucas hadn't given me a heads up about. Like his girlfriend of 6 months? I called him after school to ask how he'd forgotten this minor detail. He answered the call, but none of my questions. He spoke in a squeaky voice and pretended to be me, Andrea, throughout. My parents were nearby, and he had to keep his act up. The pazzo. Next thing I knew, I was going on a couples trip with Lucas's girlfriend Danielle, Jeff, and his girlfriend Courtney. We were driving to a resort owned by Jeff's dad to chill there for the night. That car ride turned out to be one of the most difficult and awkward experiences of my life. Danielle, my girlfriend, was super into me. She was literally clinging onto me like a snake and was breathing down my neck the whole ride. Oh, babe, I hadn't seen you for 23 hours, 16 minutes, and 10 seconds, and I was missing you like crazy. She tried to kiss me, but I turned my face away from her and said, "Wow, I bet you're good at math." Oh my God, you're so funny. She was all over me, literally laughing at every word I said, and I just wanted to disappear between the car seats. I struck up a conversation with Courtney to avoid my own girlfriend, but I guess it was a bad idea because Danielle started crying hysterically. Oh my God, ladies. I met Jeff's eyes in the rearview mirror. I gave him a help me look, but he just grinned at me. "You're such a flirt, Courtney. Stop talking to my boyfriend." What's your problem? My problem is your existence. Before they could kill each other, Jeff turned around to tell them to shut up. And then he suddenly swerved sharply to avoid an oncoming truck. The whole car spun out of control and we all screamed, terrified. The The car came to a halt on the hillside and one of the wheels was stuck in a pothole. We jumped out and tried to push it out of the hole, but that wasn't gonna happen, and we were miles away from the city. We were stranded in the middle of nowhere. I found an inn nearby that had decent ratings online. We began to walk there when Courtney and Jeff began to fight. It was her car that had been wrecked. I was tired of their bickering, so I moved away from them, but then Danielle caught up with me. What have I done, Lucas? Am I not pretty enough? Don't you like my new hair? Wait, what did her hair look like before? I tried my best to hide my annoyance and forced a sweet smile on my face. You're the prettiest woman alive, mia bella, and you deserve everything. I love you. I almost threw up at my words. I hadn't expected that acting like Lucas was going to be this tough. As soon as we reached the inn, I rushed to the bathroom to take a breather. While looking at myself in the mirror, I was surprised to see Courtney behind me grinning. I turned to her. What are you doing here? She stepped closer to me and answered, No, Lucas, what are you doing here? This bathroom is for females. Oh, shoot! Was there no end to this? I was about to rush out when she suddenly blocked my way. We had such an amazing conversation in the car back there, Lucas. I love Jeff, but I don't think I've ever had as much fun with him. Wait, what? Before I knew it, Courtney grabbed my face and kissed me right on the lips. Holy cow, I was kissing a girl. At that moment, Danielle came in and saw us. There was a look of horror on her face as she screamed at the top of her lungs. She was ready to attack Courtney, but Jeff came in time to stop her. Danielle screamed at Jeff, Your stupid girlfriend kissed my boyfriend! Courtney started crying as she hugged Jeff. Babe, I didn't do anything wrong. Lucas followed me in here and kissed me. You know what? I'm so done with you. We're over. Courtney just rolled her eyes. Fine, whatever. Jeff ignored her and turned to me with a furious look on his face, and my heart sank because I had betrayed him. The pretty messed up situation was interrupted when the innkeeper came in to tell us that she had prepared 2 rooms for us. At that moment, I wanted to hug her so bad for being a lifesaver. Thankfully, the woman was very old-fashioned. She wouldn't let teenagers bunk together under any circumstances, so Jeff and I had to share a room, and the crazy girlfriends were in another. But then I started sweating bullets when I realized something. Jeff and I were sharing a room? A bed? How was I ever going to get through this? And he's mad at me right now. I literally just kissed his cheating girlfriend. What was he going to do to me? My heart was racing when we finally went to our room. While heading to the bed, I tripped over something and fell down on the floor. Jeff immediately came to my rescue. He looked so worried as he helped me to my feet. I swear I was about to pass out because of how close our faces were to each other. Jeff offered to take a look at my foot and took off my sock. Nail paint on your toes? Nice. I gasped and looked down at my feet. My blue nail paint was still on my toes. I couldn't think of a single excuse that would work. Before I could betray my secret, I yanked my foot away and changed the topic instead. I'm sorry about what happened earlier, dude. I know you're mad at me. Are you going to beat me up? Suddenly, he burst out laughing. Why would I beat up a girl? And in this case, Lucas' twin sister. I froze in surprise. But how did you know? Jeff said he'd figured it out easily. I acted nothing like Lucas and remembered none of his plans. Lucas had mentioned to Jeff that he had a twin sister, so he put 2 and 2 together. Besides, Lucas's eyes aren't this beautiful, and I've never felt attracted to that idiot's smile. My whole face was red now. You're attracted to me? He just smiled at me and continued to bandage my foot. When he was done, he got up and said, wildly attracted. I kid you not, I nearly fainted. I finally opened up and told him the whole truth. I was a girl. Oh, it felt so good to say that out loud. Jeff listened to me patiently as I told him everything. My life at home and at school. He took my hand. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever met, Andrea. Inside and out. Not to mention funny, too. You don't deserve to be bullied and treated like that. Oh God, he was so sweet. How could Courtney cheat on a boy like him? I blushed harder when Jeff started leaning closer and closer. Before our lips could finally touch, Danielle, my girlfriend, suddenly barged in. Jeff immediately jumped out of the bed and pretended to be doing push-ups on the floor. She said, Babe, I couldn't sleep. That witch Courtney was snoring like a pig. I said, How did you get in here? Oh, the innkeeper was sleeping, so I took the duplicate key from the reception. Ugh, she was so annoying. I forgive you for kissing Courtney, by the way. Now let's go to sleep. She climbed onto the bed and told Jeff to sleep on the mattress instead. Jeff said, Yeah, sure, while grinning at me. He was really enjoying my misery. I was forced to cuddle Danielle to sleep just to stop her from making out with me. Babe, can you sing me my favorite lullaby? I was panicking now. I started singing some random nursery rhyme when Jeff came to the rescue again. In case you guys have forgotten, I'm also here. Can I have some peace? After a few more minutes of pestering me, Danielle finally fell asleep. I carefully untangled myself from her and rolled to the edge of the bed. I whispered down to Jeff, Are you still up? He whispered back, How can I sleep when I can't stop thinking about you? Oh, my heart. Go to sleep already. We need to have enough energy to deal with these crazy girls tomorrow. Sure, but I need a goodnight kiss. I rolled my eyes as I grinned in the dark. Fine, carino. I reached down to him, intending to give him a kiss on the cheek, but to my surprise, he aimed for my lips instead. My heart almost jumped out of my chest when Danielle started snoring. Jeff and I were laughing soundlessly till our stomachs hurt. It was 5 a.m. when Jeff convinced me to sneak out and leave the 2 crazy girls behind. He paid for the rooms and we waited for help at the side of the road. Luckily, we were able to find someone to give us a ride back to the city. Jeff wanted to take me out on our first official date, so I wore the cutest pink dress and let my hair down this time. As he watched me walking towards him, he put a hand on his heart. Did it hurt? Huh? What did? When you fell down from heaven? His cheesy line had my heart doing hula hoops. Finally, I was able to giggle as much as I wanted. He took my hand and kissed it. You're even more beautiful than I thought. He took his dad's car and we continued our love story that weekend in his dad's resort. Just the 2 of us this time. Everything was perfect. Until Monday. Word of Courtney and I kissing had spread like wildfire, thanks to Danielle, who was really mad at me for leaving her behind. And now everyone thought I was trying to steal Jeff's ex-girlfriend. There was an awards event in the school's gym the next day, and Courtney was declared the best cheerleader. After delivering her speech, she suddenly called my name out and said, "I can't stop this feeling anymore, Lucas. Will you be my boyfriend?" Danielle shouted from the audience, "Girl, your desperation is hurting my toenails. Dream on." Courtney fought back. "At least I wasn't dumped by Lucas." Danielle replied, "Yet." It was so awkward that I found myself running out of the gym as everyone laughed at Courtney. I skipped school for the next 2 days to avoid those girls and chose to hang out with Jeff as my real self. I was so happy when he agreed to watch a cheesy romantic movie with me. The movie ended, and as soon as the lights were back on, we were shocked to see who was sitting in front of us. Danielle's friends! They were about to turn around, but Jeff and I were quick. I immediately buried my face in my bucket of popcorn while he pretended to sleep. Thank God they immediately left. That was close. Jeff and I continued our little dates, but my love-filled haze of happiness didn't last long. I was heading to school one day when Lucas showed up, the real Lucas. He was troubled and unhappy back in my school. He said he had no idea what I'd meant when I said I was unpopular. People were picking on him left, right, and center. I love our parents, sis, but I'm done with your life. I'm sorry. I would have agreed to switch back happily a few days ago, but now I wasn't sure. I didn't want to leave Jeff. On the other hand, I missed being a girl freely. I missed my parents too. What was I going to do? I told Lucas to give me some time and I went to school. Little did I know that this was the calm before the storm. That night, I got invited for a Zoom conference by Courtney. Out of curiosity, I clicked on it and was surprised to see the faces of everyone at school. Did I miss something? All right, now that everyone's here, are you all ready for our interesting lesson tonight? Oh no, I didn't like where this was going. She started playing a slideshow presentation for everyone to see, and it was pictures of me and Jeff, hundreds of them. Apparently, Courtney hadn't dealt well with my public rejection. She was suspicious of me and Jeff, and without our knowledge, she had stalked us during our last few dates. My world stopped when the pictures of me taking my wig off and kissing Jeff showed up. Everyone knew our secret now. My act was finally over, whether I liked it or not. So according to my research, Lucas's twin sister has been pretending to be him for the past few weeks, and she has had the nerves to kiss me and steal my boyfriend. I don't know which one is more disgusting. Ew. That was officially the end of it. I had to go back now. I was about to call Lucas to tell him what had happened, but he called me first and told me to come home urgently. I got really worried. Jeff drove me to my real house, and I saw my parents hugging Lucas with tears in their eyes. And Lucas wasn't dressed as a girl. What was happening? Mama? Papa? They immediately hugged me as soon as they heard my voice. Dad said, "Our bambina is back. Why didn't you tell us about this switching business?" I turned to Lucas, and while scratching his head, he told me, "Sorry, sis. Mama caught me in my underwear in the bathroom." Mom then started explaining, "We were forced to give up Lucas for adoption because we didn't have enough money to take care of you both. We never thought we'd see Lucas again, and we're so happy that we got to meet him." Lucas told us that he wanted to be close to his family, so he'd made a plan. There was more than enough room in his mansion for all of us. He talked to his foster dad already, who was totally fine with it. My parents were so over the moon. I was so excited to have a sibling and leave my horrible school. And of course, now I could stay close to Jeff. Jeff said, "Oh, by the way, dude, Danielle's no longer your girlfriend." Lucas laughed. "Great, I was wondering how I was going to break up with her. Seriously, those girls are the worst." The boys did a fist bump in front of me. Jeff then turned to me with a wink. "That's how it's done, babe." I just answered him with the girliest giggle ever. Amore mio.